Hello and welcome to another episode of the Ball Ridden Podcast. This is the first episode of 2026, the year 2026, first one for the Ball Ridden Podcast. Excited for the year ahead. Josh is with us here today. Josh, thank you for joining.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Big 2026. It's been a fun time being on here. I'm glad to see this podcast keep going. It's a fantastic thing.
Yeah, we'll see what the new year holds. This episode, though, we're going to talk some football, college football playoff semifinals, obviously. NFL playoffs are set. But I would be remiss if we, first of all, did not give some flowers to FCS football.
Yes. We've been actually blessed recently. The last two games of American football that we've seen. Uh, you finish Sunday night in an absolute thriller with the Ravens and the Steelers, and then you turn that over into an absolute first overtime FCS national championship game, and it was beautiful. Heartbreaking loss for the Redbirds, but it was definitely something that it's really good for them to show. I saw that they had their highest attendance since the '80s at their game, and it was a thriller. So
I mean, moving, because that used to always be in Frisco, right?
yeah, so they moved to Vandy, and they said that the capacity at Frisco, even with their new upgrade, is still 4,000 less than was even attended at that one in Vandy. So keeping it in Vanderbilt and moving it tonight because you remember the past 2 years they've been playing relatively early on, and it's oh wait, the FCS national championship's
It
on.
was Saturday, too. It'd be like sandwiched in a college basketball Saturday. No one would know. It'd be at noon. So, yeah, moving location and the taking the first Monday without Monday Night Football on ESPN was perfect.
Yeah, I wonder. I mean, I haven't seen them release any ratings yet, but I'm sure there's a lot of people watching. I know there's a lot of big media watching that. A lot of people that I know that were tuned into it that normally wouldn't be in it. But wow,
Harbaugh.
I just got the notification.
Yeah, a little live reaction. John Harbaugh has been fired from the Ravens. I just saw that, too.
But yeah, so crazy few days of football. But yeah, the FCS does a really good job. Uh, so congrats to Montana State for getting over that hump finally.
I was thinking last episode I debuted my weekly night thoughts. This kind of, for this week, it had to do with FCS football, so I'll just say it now instead of saving it for the end. But with all the complaining we do with the playoff and what's going on with at the FBS level, does FCS just have it figured out? Are they the blueprint? Do they not have it perfect?
I think. Well, they do. They're in a weird spot where it's yeah, you get your North Dakota State and your South Dakota State that are always your dominant teams, but they have it perfect where it's because their NIL doesn't necessarily you're not getting $1 million players on the FCS level, so it's when you look at the model of 24 teams, it works fantastic for them because all teams can win, and I think that's important to note what putting in what a salary cap could do or lowering NIL per age, because when you look at them Illinois State was a first they had to play in the opening round. They were an unranked team. They ranked the top I think 16 teams in FCS football, and you had a team go to the national championship, which is the model that you want to follow. But it's so tough to do in today's age. But they've done a really fantastic job of being the premier way to if you were to ever transition into a larger scale, I think you have to model it after FCS.
Yes. To the Illinois State point and talking money, I'm assuming North Dakota State, the Montanas, they have some guys making NIL. Is Illinois State a program that you think has anyone making money?
They have very few, but I did just see that they had an anonymous donor donate
Yes,
1.5 to their
yes,
football
yes. I
program,
forgot
which
about
is
that.
it's yeah, so that's kind of crazy. I don't really know what those guys are making though, honestly. You can't imagine it's really a lot because those are smaller. I mean, they're small
It's
programs.
got to be the best of the best players too, if anybody. But
Right.
to your point, the run they went on and how they lost was very heartbreaking. But I was thinking the run, if they would have won the national championship, still what they did without winning last night. I mean, if they would have won though, that run I think would have been 100 times better than what Ohio State did last year, which many crowned as the greatest run in college football. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I'd almost argue that might be one of the greatest runs in sports. That team
Yes,
was 8 and
history of
4.
sports.
That team was 8 and 4 making the playoffs, and they're going. I mean, like like that's what they did was crazy, and it's just on like you just don't see that, um, which is why football is a great thing, but and that's why sports in general are amazing things. But yeah, it was one of the craziest feats of all time. I kind of compared it because they're a MVFC, so like if you look at it, it'd be like who's a top who's like a mid tier SEC program in your mind?
Mm, like Auburn.
Yeah, I'd say like imagine like we go to 24 teams and Auburn gets in as like the I guess like 22nd ranked team, and they would go on and they would like win the entire national championship. That's what like compared that's what that would have been.
And beat the best team in the country. That North Dakota State win was North Dakota State
Right.
was like weren't they like minus 200 in the middle of the season to win it all?
They were considered the best FCS program essentially ever going into this playoffs. They were so high they were getting ratings in the FBS voting pool.
Yeah.
So that I mean that just says something. Why FCS has definitely got to figure it out. It's awesome.
Yep. All right. With that, we will transfer over to FBS football, the college football playoff. The final four teams are set. Some new blood, some very new teams after um, a shocking quarterfinal round. I guess we can hit on that first. The most obvious thing that comes to my mind, both me and you, and seemingly most of college football media, we were very wrong about Ohio State. Very wrong.
Yeah. I think I don't know if it's weird. It's like I don't know if it's as much as Ohio State wasn't that as great as everyone thought, or if it's just props to like how good Miami could be. Um,
That's what I keep going back to those first couple weeks. Sorry to interrupt, but those first couple weeks, everyone was so high on Miami. Like they've been the same. They got the same players. It's not like they had a massive injury or something. But those first couple weeks of the season, everyone was huge on Miami.
right. And this is what's weird about it too. It's like when you look at Ohio State, it's like yeah, Indiana clearly very much looks like the best team in the country, and it's not very fair. I would like to see what their O line and D line would do against Miami because obviously Miami right now looks like the most dominant team on the front line, but Indiana just looks like the best overall team in general. But it's like when you look at Ohio State, it's like they defensively, they were really the only team to contain Indiana outside of Iowa, which was in Kinnick, which is not very easy, and then Penn State, which Penn State was a physical team, but um, it's very like bizarre because I've gone back and forth on was Ohio State really that good, but
I
I
feel like
still
we're
think they
stuck
are.
not knowing still. Like we don't know.
Right. It's like I feel like it's almost like that game.
The fact that they played as bad as they did and still had a chance to win says something in my mind.
Right, right. And it's like maybe it's because your quarterback's young, and he's facing such a good D line. I mean, Ruben Bain just had his way with that Ohio State offensive line. He could have done whatever he wanted to. Um, I don't know, but it's funny because like does Jay Fielding change the game if they like does that game change if they have a different kicker? That's what's hard to know.
Don't even start.
So I mean that's what's hard to know. It's like, but you don't really
Yeah, you
see
make that kick going into halftime. That's momentum.
right. And you don't really see like I'm blank. Why am I blanking on on his name right now? The quarterback. Uh,
Saying,
yeah, you don't really see like the criticism that I'm saying as much as like you would have seen in the past years. I know. I mean, they basically crucified McCord.
oh, you're not on Ohio State fan Twitter. They don't show up on your Twitter. They want him gone. They wanted him gone.
Did they really? So maybe
Yes.
maybe it is okay. So maybe it's the diehards. But I feel like when McCord, I
Yeah,
feel like when
McCord
McCord
was a different level though.
I mean, when McCord didn't win the national championship, they like and that was like national level where it was reaching like my. I'm not really searching so much on Ohio State Twitter. I don't care that much, but it's like I feel like I'm not really hearing on a national level like the push gets saying out of there. I wouldn't be surprised. Ohio State fans are brutal, and I guess when you're giving $15 million a year to your players,
Yeah.
you can. I guess you could push that, But yeah, it's not like the same level I've seen in the past with like McCord.
Yeah, saying it definitely was not the majority. McCord was by far the majority, but there was I didn't think I'd see any of that. I mean, he was a Heisman Trophy finalist. He was getting pressured like instantly most of the time. Were there a lot of opportunities where he probably should have and could have ran? Yes, but at the same time, you know, it's the story that the question we kind of asked all year though, what happens when they get in a big moment and they did not answer.
No, they didn't. But I don't know. And some of that staff's leaving, so it's gonna be weird. I mean, maybe part of it's because Chip Kelly was going too. I mean,
Yeah.
so you'll see.
Outside of that, we were also very wrong on Texas Tech. They got waxed. Their offense looked terrible. Indiana rolled Bama, and then Ole Miss and Trinidad Chambliss took over. Um, Everyone seems to get on the Trinidad hype right now, but honestly, I mean, he's been playing like that all season.
Yes, but it's like when you do it on a national scale like that in like a standalone game, it's kind of hard. I've seen projections calling him a day one draft pick now. Um, I mean, it's a bizarre state. I mean, because Georgia kind of got. I mean, he was doing having his way with Georgia, but it's gonna be if he can actually do it again against. Obviously, we've seen how dominant this Miami defense has been. So it's gonna like if he can have another game like that, you could see a day one potentially a late round draft pick if he declares. I've gone back and forth in this, and if he's actually a projected day one guy, he's not gonna go in the top three. So like he's not gonna go in the top 10 in my opinion. I just don't think he has enough like film like that other than what he's played in the SEC. Obviously, he's got his Ferris State film, but like, would it be a bad idea for him to go? If he stays, I think he's guaranteed a top 10 pick next year. But if he goes, you're going to an organization that probably has a team built around you already.
Yeah, I just think if he gets the waiver granted for another year of eligibility, he will stay. But an interesting thing with him that I've heard brought up, if he doesn't get this extra year of eligibility, he'll especially get screwed at the college level because like he probably wasn't making a lot of money this year.
No,
Not
no,
at all.
definitely not.
That's why if he doesn't get granted this extra year of eligibility, he'll be screwed from an NIL standpoint because it's not like they restructured his deal in the middle of the season. But that's something that's interesting to think about if he would go pro or not, because of the limited amount of money he made compared to what he produced on the field this season.
Right. I mean, that's the argument he's going to have. I mean, I can't imagine he's going to be less than what I mean, a $4 million quarterback minimum. I mean,
You're not
if you
making
sign.
much in the NFL this year or your first
No,
couple
I
years.
know. That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying if he stays, he's going to be guaranteed 4 million in college, which is like because when you look at it, Sorsby's making five, which I think Trinidad gives you a better chance at winning than Sorsby does. And I mean, you could throw Trinidad Chambers on Illinois next year, and I'd immediately call Illinois one of the best offenses in the country.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna be weird what he's gonna do. It's definitely gonna be interesting how the NCAA plays it because if you look at what they've done in the past, like he should realistically get his medical red shirt that he wavered for.
Yeah, I thought it was a no-brainer, and then all of a sudden, over the last week, there's just kind of been rumors, and Pete Thamel was talking about it, and people sound very pessimistic that it's actually going to happen. But let's get into this Miami Ole Miss game a little more, I guess, or give a pick at least. Miami is -3.5 against Ole Miss. Over unders 51.5. This is the Fiesta Bowl in Arizona on Thursday night. Josh, who do you like in terms of the spread?
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I'm going back and forth here. I obviously, I like Ole Miss a lot, but I just think the way that Miami's played, maybe the ACC was a little bit underrated going into the
Oh
season and
God.
into the postseason. I think the SEC. I mean, I saw the arguments today with even their father Feinbaum was talking about it, and he was like the SEC could be it's they aren't the crown anymore, and you've seen that. And I kind of think Georgia would have given him a better chance to produce a national champion, but. I just think when you look at the front um, that Miami has in their defense, and the way that Golden's defense couldn't really get off the field on third down. I don't think if
Yeah.
you do that, I think if you do that against Miami, and the way that Miami can really run the ball, especially with Fletcher, who's a fantastic running back and a great story too. I just don't see Miami not being able to just pound the rock the entire game and close the door on Trinidad and Ole Miss.
I agree in terms of Ole Miss defense has been like good enough all year. At some point though, that dam's gonna break, and if they can't stop the run, it could be a long day on the field for the defense. And I think their game plan will be to run the ball because the best way to beat Ole Miss is to keep Trinidad off the field. I think. At the same time, though, as I said, Sayan had a lot of chances to run against that Miami defensive front. They'll get pressure on Chambliss. He'll be able to use his legs, though. I think I do have a little bit of Trinidad fever right now, but
Right.
I, I, I don't see Miami winning this game. Or I do see I don't see a way where they don't win this handily. I'm not going to take a side though. I like over 51.5.
Yeah, I do think this is a game. I think there's gonna be more points than are projected. Obviously, Miami's defense doesn't really give up a lot of points, and especially when they're winning football games. But I think Ole Miss is gonna be able to score. I just don't the way that Pete Golding's defense couldn't get off the field in that first half just has me thinking like, man, that's some bad. Like if you're missing tackles on Miami, they're gonna make you pay.
And there's been one clear way that's been shown to beat Miami this year, and it's make Carson Beck turn over the ball.
Right.
We keep harping on that, how he makes turnovers in big moments. He hasn't done that this playoffs. One of the main
No.
reasons why he hasn't been in a position where he basically has had to be the guy for them. He's been
Right.
super efficient taking what's there, which is, kind of surprising, but that's when he's at his best, I think. And as we've talked about, that's when Miami's really just pounding the rock, and they don't need Carson Beck to be Superman.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. Like when you look at it, I mean, he's got through four picks against Louisville, two against SMU. Um, but yeah, I mean, he's not turning the ball over. Maybe that's part of him having that experience. But I mean, it's gonna be. I don't know. I just don't see a way Miami doesn't really handle all this.
All right. We'll move on from that one to the shoot. I didn't write this down. What is this? Which one is this? Oregon, Indiana.
Oregon,
Peach Bowl,
Indiana.
Peach Bowl, Peach Bowl.
Yep.
Peach Bowl, Oregon versus Indiana. Oregon is plus 3.5. Over under is 46.5. Two Big Ten teams. Big Ten guaranteed a team in the national championship as they try to win their third straight. Uh, a rematch. A rematch from the regular season. I think it was week 5 or 6 where Indiana went on the road, and that's when we really found out that Indiana was legit. The best team in the country. They've looked like the best team in the country ever since then. One stat I have for you, though, in terms of rematches in the college football playoff. Have you seen this at all?
No, I've not.
So what there, I actually collected this data myself. So
I like it.
I hope it's accurate. I found 5 instances of a rematch in the college football playoff from the regular season. In those games, the team that lost the first game is 4-1 in the rematch. And the one loss is Tulane and Ole Miss this year, which you can kind of throw out the window. Outside of that, I got the 2021 Natty, where Georgia won the SEC, Bama won the title, Oregon, Ohio State last year, Oklahoma and Alabama this year, Georgia versus Ole Miss this year that we just saw. And yeah, that's all 5 because I said Ole Miss, Tulane. So yeah, 4-1 favors the team that lost. So this would obviously favor Oregon. It's tough to beat a team 2 times. I usually agree with that way of thinking. However, I think you'd be an idiot to pick anything against Indiana right now the way they're rolling. It's funny last week with Indiana when every team with a bye was losing. And it's like, you know what? Let's leave it up to Indiana and Kurt Cignetti to break this streak.
Right.
And that's the way they're thought of now, just dominant. So I'm taking Indiana. I'm taking Cignetti. I'll trust him to break another streak of this and beat Oregon twice.
Yeah, I think though when you look at it too, it's like Ohio State lost at Oregon last year. Ole Miss lost at Georgia. They should have won that game. in the regular season. So it's like when you look at this, it's like Indiana went out out west, and they really shut down
It
Dante
was a
Moore.
dominant win. It was a convincing win.
And it's like I've gone back and forth on this too because it's like you get two psychopaths in Lanning and Signetti, and it's like yeah you wanna it's hard not to take Oregon like in a rematch, but it's like you can't deny what Signetti's been doing and how good Indiana looks. So I'm definitely gonna take Indiana again. I just I think they're too good, and it's like I saw the thing that Fernando Mendoza said, like, wow, when he got here in the spring, he was like, I'm either not as good as I thought I was, or this is the
Yes.
best defense in the country. And he was damn right. He's as good as he thought he was, and that is the best team in the country. Or best defense in the country. And it's proven, and that's why I really like them a lot. I just think the seniority of Mendoza is going to show a little bit more than Dante, especially. It's just gonna be weird. But I just think Indiana can take it easily. Not easily, but convincingly.
Yeah. Great matchup. I mean, in the eyes of the sports book, this is the national championship. These are the two favorites to win it all. So,
Right.
all right, let's change gears then to the NFL. NFL playoffs are set, and we can do a deep dive into our teams, I guess. Josh, you're a Bears fan. I'm a Steelers fan, obviously. We'll start with the Steelers. You hinted at it. Incredible Sunday night football game. The Steelers are in the playoffs. What a game. I mean, all I think about is what a different world we'd be living in right now if that Tyler Loop, if he would have made that kick. I mean, Tomlin's probably fired. Aaron Rodgers possibly retired. The Pittsburgh's fans are probably going insane, but complete 180 from that. Steelers in the playoffs, play the Texans on Monday Night Football. I'm excited. I think this is the most winnable playoff game the Steelers have had in quite some time. Every other year when they've gone into the playoffs, it's been the Ravens first round, the Bills first round, the Chiefs first round, and you're happy to be in the playoffs, but you're going to get waxed, and most of the time they did get waxed.
I mean, you hit it on the nail. It's like when you look at this Texans team, it's tough because their defense is so good. But I just keep going back to that last 10 minutes, and it's like the Steelers all year seem like they've been just beating a dead horse on offense, and then you go to those last 10 minutes, and you look at that offense, and you're
They've
like,
had
they
flashes.
they they made the plays when you need them, and that's without your number one.
Yes, that's the thing. Like my thing was when the Ravens came out and scored that first drive easily, and it looked like it was possibly going to be a high scoring game. I was thinking, the Steelers have been in shootouts all year, multiple shootouts this season. However, can they do it without your number one receiver, DK Metcalf? They pulled it off at the end. So, I mean, you said it. Those last 10 minutes, I think, instill a little bit of hope.
Yeah, I think you had to have guys make plays, and obviously the Steelers have 50 tight ends on their roster, but uh, I kind of like the switch, and it took some balls in that second half where you were like, all right, we're gonna go with Warren more than we're gonna go with Gainwell, even though Gainwell, you know, on part of your wins this year has definitely been the guy that they like. He obviously doesn't score before halftime, and all of a sudden you see Warren getting the primary carries in the backfield, and when Calvin Austin goes out there in the second half, makes massive plays. Fryermuth, dog, I love that guy, but it's like, and that's what's exciting for the Steelers. I think in my mind is that when you look at it and you got a guy like Rodgers. I mean, you texted me and I still laugh about it. Where it's like, there's no way Arthur Smith's calling a play. Uh, right now. Like it's going to be Rodgers' game, and I feel like you saw that, especially when they cut to the sideline and Rodgers was going nuts about the communication.
Well, yeah, that's what I thought he was for sure calling the offense. And then they say his helmet communication goes out, but he can't call a play. But that's probably because
Right.
he said it was on the goal line, so they didn't have many plays that could be called. But yeah, that looked like classic Ben his last couple years, where Ben would just be, calling the receivers over and just telling each one what route to run. I mean, it's pretty cool to see.
It's kind of well, Rodgers did do that too. I think when I think he was doing it to Thielen or whoever receiver was when he wanted to catch an out route. It was an incomplete pass and it was a close almost catch, but it's like you see that and you like I'm gonna be honest, like Caleb Williams isn't gonna be able to do that. He's just not a veteran enough to
There's
be able
not
to
a
do
lot of
that.
quarterbacks that are doing that, if
Exactly, and
any.
it's like when you look at a guy like Rodgers, it's like yeah, dude. In 5 years, I wouldn't doubt it if Rodgers is an offense coordinator, even though the guy's a weirdo.
Mm.
But like, I
He's
know he's not
dropping.
gonna go
He's
to.
dropping off the face of the earth when
Oh
he's
yeah,
done
he's
playing
not. I know he's
football.
gonna he's gonna go move to like Bora Bora and just go fucking take mushrooms every day. But it's like if you like that's a mind though. You gotta think like I mean, there's probably not a lot of better minds in the offensive game other than Aaron Rodgers.
No,
So yeah.
I'm not in terms of the playoff picture for them. I'm not thinking Super Bowl or anything, but I'm hopeful for. I think they can win this game, which is all you can ask for after the last couple appearances in the playoffs. Um,
I think you get into a situation too where I mean if the Jags can beat the Bills, which it's
don't
gonna be
even start.
hey, I know, but I'm kind of on the Jags. I'm surprised, and T-Law's playing his best football. Maybe their
You're
head coach.
saying Steelers Jags though? Is that what you were hitting at?
No, I'm just saying, like when you look at it though, it's like the Broncos aren't that good,
No, I
and it's
hate the
like
Broncos. They stink.
and it's like when you look at it, it's like if you're the lowest seed, which there's a high possibility, if it's a high poss. I mean, I can't see. I can't see. I mean, I guess the Chargers maybe, but I mean, there's gonna be other defense plays, obviously. But it's like when you look at it, it's if you give me the Steelers and the Broncos,
Uh,
it's an interesting
uh,
argument.
yeah. All right. Let's get out the AFC. Let's go to your neck of the woods and your thoughts and your state of the Bears as they're making their first playoff appearance since when?
2018,
Yeah, the Minshew year,
19.
right? The
Yeah.
double doink? No.
No.
The Nickelodeon game against
Yeah.
the
But
Saints.
was it Javon Wims dropped a wide open touchdown? It would have changed the game against the Saints. Um. Yeah, I think not a better way to have it for the city of Chicago. You get Saturday night, awesome prime time Saturday. Short week going against your biggest rival, where it's like I feel weird about this because honestly, if you would have gave me any of the NFC West teams, I would have told you take the NFC West. Um, However, this is the type of game where I feel like how crazy it is just because it's the Packers. Obviously the Packers have some massive injuries. This type of game is like, all right, it could either propel your team to it could either propel your team and the Bears for the future, or it could absolutely just destroy. It's a game that either shoots your team in the future 5 years, and you absolutely start something for the next 5 years that you're gonna be dominant. And everyone's gonna be like, oh fuck, I want to go play for Ben Johnson in Chicago, or shit rolls downhill and it rolls fast. And I
Oh,
feel like if you lose, you can't get the 2 seed. You already beat them. You should have beat them again. I mean, they have that argument too that they should have been 2-0, but it's like, man, no better way to have it than to really show who was the better team in the division. And I like the Bears. I just think that Chicago's gonna wake up. Obviously, Matt LaFleur, he takes fucking like some type of drug every time he plays the Bears and calls a perfect game. But it's gonna be it's gonna be interesting.
he's like possibly fired. They're talking about if they don't win, which is shocking.
Yeah, I think that's more of a stretch than anything. I think when
Yeah,
you look at because like you already see six, I guess seven coaches now, six, seven,
shut
but
up.
seven coaches now, including Harbaugh, that just got canned right now that you have to fill a position for. So it's like, is there really enough right now to be like, all right, let's fire LaFleur because you already know LaFleur is gonna get you. LaFleur is gonna get you to the playoffs. He always does.
Yeah, and I don't think there's a big pool out there of like hot coordinator names that are up for jobs this year either.
No, it's definitely not like last year.
No.
And like even like with Vrabel too. Like Vrabel was like everyone was like, yeah, Vrabel's getting the job right away.
Yes.
So it's yeah, I think it's a little bit far fetched to see LaFleur fired after if he was possibly to lose this game. But I
Yeah, I
mean, you
think it'd
never
be
know.
stupid.
Yeah.
All right, let's finish off with a more well-rounded look, I guess, at the NFL playoffs outside of our teams. So I came up with a question that's relevant to each of the rest of the playoff field. It's just yes or no or one word quick answers. We can roll through these really quick. Sound good?
Oh, good.
All right, we'll start in the AFC. The Broncos. Are you a Bo Lever? I guess we already kind of answered that. Do you believe
No,
in Bo Nix? No.
I believe in Bo. I don't believe in the Broncos.
Oh, okay. I guess that's probably I don't know. He's been so up and down this year. All right, next one. Texans. Can they play in the cold? 6 of their last games have been indoors. And the one game that I could found that I think was kind of cold this year was the Chiefs on Sunday Night Football, like 4 or 5 week backs, but it wasn't blistering cold. So I think that's a storyline to watch here. Do you think they can play in the cold?
I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna
Really?
say no.
I mean, they're definitely a team that is built for the cold though, where it probably won't affect them because, like you said, they're built on their defense.
I just think like the Vikings, and it's like they can't
Yeah,
like because like they're dome and they play in the cold and they suck. They stink it up. So I'm gonna go no.
yeah. All right, Jags. Uh, kind of just. Do you remember when they hired Urban Meyer as their head coach?
Oh my
It's kind of
gosh.
just like a reflection point I had though. Like they had one of the worst coaching hires in the history of sports a couple years ago, and now possibly one of the best with what Liam Cohen's done there in year one.
Yeah, Liam Cohen is not talked about enough. What he's been able to do. He's a quarterback whisperer. Um, I like him a lot. I think he really has brought the best out of T Law. So
Yeah. Crazy turn of events in Jacksonville. Next one, the Bills. Is this the worst team they've had entering the playoffs since Josh Allen took over in 2019?
you know, I thought about this. I don't think it's the worst because the AFC East was so bad
Yeah, good
for a
point.
while. So it's like they were getting 6 free wins, and now you're actually just seeing a more competitive league. But I definitely don't think it's that what was it that last Stephon Diggs year.
Yeah, they've been better. My thing is just like this is the year no one's high on them. No one believes in them. I think that will probably is a good chance that's the year they actually break through.
Yeah.
All right, next one, Patriots. Are they too inexperienced for the playoffs?
See, that's a tough one because like
I couldn't
Vrabel.
think of a good question for them, so this is very stupid.
No, it's a legit question because it's you got to think about it. You got a 23-year-old quarterback. Um, I just I don't think this is their year. I think Vrabel is an excellent coach. I think their defense is experienced, but I think offensively, you need that guy at the helm. I think maybe next year or 2 years from now could be their breakout year. Uh, I would say no on this, just because I think they are experienced. I just don't think you can win those like conference championship games without a vet quarterback.
Good answer. Last one from the AFC, the Chargers. The question is, can Justin Herbert be Superman and pull off a win?
Yeah. Um, I'm gonna say I'm gonna go yeah. I just he doesn't have to play perfect with how good Jesse Minter's defense is.
Yes.
Um, so I'm gonna say yeah.
Chargers are live. All right, over to the NFC then. We'll start with the 1 seed, the Seahawks. The question is, did Sam Darnold get all the goof out of him from last year? If you remember the last 2 games of last year where they were playing for the 1 seed and then the first round of the playoffs, he played terrible and basically lost his job with the Vikings. So did he get all the goof out of him last year?
I don't know if he got all the goof out of him, but I think he's only gonna need to score like one touchdown and they could probably win the Super Bowl.
Yeah. I think he knows that like he doesn't have to be the guy for them to win as long as he just takes care of the football, kind of similar to what Carson Beck is doing that we talked about. Just don't turn over the football and they're fine.
Yeah.
Next one, Panthers. Is this the worst team to ever make the playoffs?
I'd argue probably, yeah, I would say so because I'm thinking of like the 7-9 Seahawks from like
I guess Beastquake year they were 7-9 or under 500. I was hearing someone talk about under 500 teams. If you remember the Commanders a couple years
yeah.
ago with Heineke were another one.
Yeah, but they almost Heineke, they almost beat Tom Brady. They
They
almost
gave the
beat
Bucks
Brady,
a
right?
game. Yeah, they gave the Bucks a
Yeah.
game.
Yeah, I would argue, yeah, I would say the way that this team's been trending downward, especially I mean, I'd argue they're probably you know, they might be the worst team in the division right now.
Yeah, I know. That's
Uh
what's crazy. The Saints and Falcons were both super hot to end the season, but the game for the division was between the not actually wasn't between the Bucks and the Panthers since the Falcons ended up winning. But yeah, that division just basically flipped upside down to end the year. All right, next one, the Rams. Would Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford ride off into the sunset and into retirement on a Super Bowl? Now, for McVay, retirement, I was more alluding to like a career in television, possibly, which was talked about a couple years ago for him. But thoughts on that?
yeah, I think Stafford's got to be done after this one.
Super Bowl or not?
Yeah, I'd say this is probably their Super Bowl or not. I feel like every week it's just like a different story coming out of LA with their roster and their team. Um, Especially with now I guess Puka's like a piece of shit apparently. But I don't know. I feel like yeah. I mean, but it's to be hard to see if like McVay because what McVay's what like 40 now.
Yeah, there was I just remembered a couple years ago, it was hinted that he might go into retirement, and then you think maybe if Stafford, or not retirement, but TV with all the money that is there, and then if Stafford leaves, would he want to stay and try to develop a new quarterback? But they are so littered on offense. I basically just threw McVay in there because I thought Stafford was like an easy yes, because I think he's done too, no matter what.
Yeah.
All right, next one, the Eagles. Are they as bad as their own fans and the media says they are?
No. I I think they're a very dangerous team. I that was probably the worst team the Niners could have seen
Yes.
because stopping a red obviously you saw what happens when you can stop a red hot Niners offense. And we saw that against the Seahawks on Saturday night. The Eagles defense is that good. For whatever reason they like to wake up when in big games. Sirianni all he does is win playoff games.
He talks his shit too.
Exactly. So I'm gonna go no, and I'm gonna have a hard time. I mean, I'm gonna have a hard time not seeing them win round one.
I agree. Next one, 49ers. Name one starting player on the 49ers defense.
I don't even know.
I
Is
know
like
I couldn't either. I just the what they played Saturday night, but when they showed their defensive starters on Saturday night, I was like, what the hell?
yeah
Because all the
is
injuries and stuff, but
right. That's what I was trying to go through right now in my mind. I'm like because Fred Warner's not
nope.
he's not projected to play right.
No. Well, it's been thrown out, but I don't think so.
Is Hufanga even healthy? I don't even
He's
know.
gone. He's not there anymore.
Like dude, like I literally have no idea who plays for
Bosa,
this team.
Tyleek Williams, who was their draft pick, hurt, but yeah,
Yeah,
they're banged up.
yeah. It's like yeah that's kind of a good point. But maybe that's a credit to how good Salah is as a coach.
Yeah, he'll be a hot name. All right, last one here from the NFC. Last one to wrap it all up. The Green Bay Packers. The question is, will they beat the Bears?
No, they can't. I think there's a legit opportunity, but I just think, as hurt as that roster is, losing your big players, I'm gonna go no.
No doubt. I mean, if they're healthy, I think they're a Super Bowl contender. But yeah, with all they went through this last half of the year, I like Chicago as well. The Bears.
No Bears.
All right, that'll wrap up this episode. Josh, thanks for joining. Anything you got on your mind before we get out of here?
Yeah. Let's see what Pat Kelsey can do tonight. No, not Pat. Is it Pat? Yeah, Pat Kelsey tonight
Louisville?
versus uh, you know. Let's see. Let's
It's
see.
like a pick 'em.
It is. I'm interested. The KFC Yum Center. They
Call
could be
call
loud.
your call your shot. This is coming out after that, obviously. Who wins?
I'm gonna think Louisville wins this game, and I'm gonna go with an 11-point victory. I don't think it's
Oh
gonna be
my
necessarily
gosh.
that close. I'm not big on Duke.
They've struggled here recently, but Louisville alt spread tonight in the Yum Center. We'll see if that comes to fruition. Josh, thanks for joining. Everyone, thanks for listening. Enjoy this upcoming weekend of football. Peace.